What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Thrive Forever Fit Show. I'm your host, Jay Nixon, and I appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to go a little bit freestyle. We're going to go a little bit rogue. I got no notes. I got no nothing. If you're watching on YouTube, you can corroborate that story. Nothing's in front of me. I'm just going to speak from the heart and the hip today because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. Today, I'm going to talk about mindset and slow down. Don't hit stop. Don't disconnect. Don't go listen to somebody else's show. This isn't going to be your normal rant on mindset of namaste, go to Jay, all that kind of jazz. This is some real deal, serious business stuff about why mindset is so freaking important, why it's imperative to your success. And I'm going to actually teach you today a little bit about what mindset really is. Mindset's not just thinking positive thoughts and hoping shit happens. Mindset's way deeper than that. Mindset is actually a muscle. Mindset is something you have to work on. Mindset is a craft. Mindset is a habit. It's a routine. It's a spiritual standard. It's everything you need to be successful. In my first book, The Overweight Mind, I talked about how success, no matter what it is that you're doing, business, relationships, health and fitness, no matter, is predicated on 80% mindset or psychology and 20% mechanics. And I say that because in life, mechanics always break down, right? So let's talk about the breaking down of mechanics in the fitness world or in the workout world or in the weight loss world. A diet, as we all know, is my least favorite word on the planet. The D word is the biggest lie in the world. But every quote unquote diet breaks down. Every quote unquote diet fails because there's always a holiday. There's always a dessert somewhere. There's always a lounge that has a free cookie, or there's always something that's going to derail you. And the only way you get back on the tracks quickly is if that mindset is where it needs to be. If it's not, you will stay derailed for an extended amount of time, and that's when you get chaos in your life. That's when you get weight gain. If we're talking about financial stuff, there's always going to be roadblocks. There's always going to be bills. There's always going to be unforeseen things that you need to pay for. And if you're not financially stable, you're going to break down. So there's always going to be something you got to shell out more money for. And you're saying, well, Jay, mindset's never paid for anything. Mindset doesn't pay for things, but mindset sets you up in the right framework so that you have plenty of money to pay for those unforeseen things. Think about this. Most people with a shitty mindset don't have any money because they think that everybody's out to get them. They think it's them against the world. And guess what? I used to be the same way. If you've read my second book, The Purpose of Pain, and this is not a pitch fest for my books, this is just me recalling things. I'm going off the fly here. In my second book, The Purpose of Pain, I talk about how I used to have no regard for money. It wasn't that I didn't have any regard for money. It was that I had no regard for myself. My mindset was complete shit. I thought it was me against the world. I thought I was fighting an uphill battle every single day. I thought things were happening to me and not for me. And it wasn't until I shifted that mindset, that psychology, and I actually started working on that muscle. Like I go to the gym every day, and I was going to the gym every day then, but I wasn't working on this. I wasn't working on I'm pointing to my brain now if you're listening. I wasn't working on my mind. I wasn't working on the one thing that was going to change life for me. And when I started working on my mind, when I started shifting my energy away from those negative thoughts and the thoughts of things are happening to me, and I shifted them to things are happening for me, what can I learn from this chaos that I had created, most of it myself? But the things that I didn't create myself, I blew them up even more. I would pour gas on everything and it would just blow up. It was just the way I was programmed. It was my mindset. It wasn't my mechanics. It was the way I thought about things. It was the way I handled things. It was the way I reacted to things. See, someone with a weak mindset is reactionary. Someone with a strong mindset is proactive. They're already ready for those things because they know how to reframe situations. Reframing is a simple mindset technique that done over time will create massive benefits for you. What I'm talking about with reframing is when something happens, when an adversity pops up, when a challenge is presented to you, you can quickly figure out, what am I supposed to learn from this? What can I take from this that's going to benefit me either in the moment or in future moments? Because Everything is a pattern, guys. If you think about it, the same things keep happening to you over and over and over and over until you realize they're happening for you and you learn how to process them, and then you can avoid them, or you can overcome them, or you can circumvent them, or you can use them as actual benefits to your life instead of detriments. See, that's the difference in a mindset person who is strong and a mindset person who is weak. A weak mindset will tell you that things are bad, and think about this. It's as simple as this as well. Mindset is language. Mindset is the vocabulary that you use. I can tell you right away, I can tell you within the first minute, 60 seconds of meeting somebody, what kind of mindset they have based on the vocabulary that they use. People who have a shitty mindset use words like can't. This is hard. It's devastating. This is overwhelming. This is catastrophic. Then I say, well, what happened? They're like, well, I got up late today. There's nothing devastating about getting up late today. It's a challenge. It's an adversity, right? But we blow shit out of proportion because it's how we've programmed our brain. People with a positive mindset, people with an abundant mindset don't use language like that. There are challenging things in the world. There will be challenging things in the world until the end of time. But those challenges don't have to be catastrophic. Those challenges don't have to be devastating. Those challenges don't have to be even quote unquote hard. Somebody said something today like, oh, this is hard. And I'm like, no, death is hard. Cancer is hard. Getting your leg blown off by an IED in Iraq or Iran or wherever the hell people are fighting everybody at. That shit is hard. A workout's not hard. Going to work at your desk job with air conditioning and a chair and pens and pencils and a bathroom that you can sit down on a toilet. You don't have to shit in a hole. That's not hard. Right? It may not be what you want to do, but that's not hard. Hard are those other things I talked about. Hard are people trying to kill you, right? Hard is having an irreversible, untreatable disease that's going to shorten your lifespan. That's hard. Death is hard, but the other shit's not hard. It's just challenging. It's just that you don't want to do it. And if you'll realize that through working on the muscle, the mindset muscle, that you can reframe all of that language, and that language is actually leading to your behaviors. The language you use leads to the behaviors that you do. If you think things are hard, if you think things are devastating, if you think things are overwhelming, what kind of attitude do you think you're going to bring to situations that arise? A crappy one. And a crappy attitude is never the answer to get a resolution. This is why you find yourself struggling over and over and over and over again with the same shit, the same horrible relationship that you've been in forever. You're struggling with it because your mindset's not, the mechanics are broken, done. And so is your mindset, and you're not strong enough to get out of it. See, someone with a strong mindset is in a relationship and the mechanics break down and they realize, well, this person's shitty. This person's horrible to me. This person treats me like A, B, C, and D. My mindset is strong. My mindset is stout because I work on it. I am not tolerating this. But someone with a weak mindset tolerates it because they justify it. See, people with strong mindsets don't justify other bad behavior. People with strong mindsets reframe situations. What am I supposed to learn from this? This is not the Joker for me. I'm no longer going to tolerate this bad behavior. I move on. Life gets better. Reactionary toleration mindset. Well, that's just Larry. That's what Larry does. You know what? F Larry, right? That's what you got to be able to say. You got to be able to move on. Same thing goes with money. Same thing goes with your weight loss. Same thing goes with your fitness. Going to the gym, guys, is not hard. It only becomes, it's not even challenging. It only becomes challenging when you don't do it for such a long period of time that you're now 100 pounds overweight. You can barely put your shoes on. So you created the challenge. You created the overwhelm. You created the devastation. You created the pain. And if you created it, what can you do? You can uncreate it. If that's even a thing, can you uncreate something? I don't know. Somebody Google that. But the point is this. Begin to work on your mindset as much as you work on the others, even more than you work on the other stuff. And it starts with language. If you hear yourself using language that is not conducive to a positive life, to a positive conversation, immediately stop yourself, reframe the sentence and say, you know what? This is not hard. This is going to be a bit of a challenge, but I can do challenging things and I'm going to overcome this. It's a much different statement. It's a much different mindset. It's a much different perspective than going into every scenario, bitching and moaning that things are hard, right? There's people that live in other countries. There's people that live all over the world that would trade places with you in a heartbeat, but yet you believe your life is hard. Think about that. Think about the easy reframe of that. I hear people say, oh my God, I'm so busy at work. You wanted to be busy at work. Think about all the things that you complain about today that you wish you had years ago. I hear people all the time in the entrepreneurial world, no business, just starting out, broke as a joke. Now they're busy. They're successful. You know what they say? Oh my God, I'm so busy. I had to work this weekend. You wanted that. You asked for that. And now you're bitching about it. You know what's going to happen? It's going to get taken away from you. I love to be busy. Love it. I can't be busy enough because you know what? I asked for it. Don't bitch about things you asked for. It's a reframe. Change your mindset. This negative mindset, guys, is what is driving most of us into the ground. It's what's holding most of us back from everything that we say that we want. And it's really simple. It's not even hard stuff. When I say this to you, think about the language that you use. When did you learn how to talk? When did you learn how to do language? Like when you were like in the, I don't even know, but third grade. Miss Clary, it was at third grade that we learned how to talk. I don't even know. When you said, you know, Jay, this is how you the, and, if, it, but, you know, whatever. Third grade, second grade, maybe even first grade. Shit, I don't even know. And now we're adults and we're using language that we wouldn't even allow a child to use. Like, think about if your child came home and talked like you did, and they probably do because your child's picking up your language. But that should be a red flag to you. They can't believe my kid's so negative. You know why your kid's negative? Because you're negative. You know why your kid thinks everything's hard? Because you think everything's hard. You know why your kids, they're stuck in the same pattern you're stuck in. Fix it. It's a simple fix. It's a muscle though. It's like going to the gym. It's like running a marathon. You can't get up tomorrow and run a marathon if you haven't ran in 10 years. Get up tomorrow and start by using different language. When you catch yourself not using language that is appropriate, fix it, correct it so that you can begin to use language that is conducive to the life that you want to live. Because if you stay on the same path, if you keep thinking things are hard and devastating and overwhelming and challenging and blah, 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 and life's out to get you and this is bullshit and this sucks and that sucks and politics this and politics that and the world this and greenhouse gases and there's climate change, you guys are focusing on the wrong stuff. Like somebody, I don't even have a clue what's going on in the governmental world of our political system of impeach, who's running for this, who's running for that, who's stealing over here, who's taking this person's money, who's in jail. I don't know anything about that shit. And guess what? It's awesome. It's freaking awesome because you know what? It doesn't matter. You're crazy if you think it matters. It's a game they've got you stuck into. It's a mindset they've got you stuck into. If you're watching the news, they're controlling your mindset and your behaviors are indicative of the control that they have over you. Think about what you go to work and talk about. Like that I can't believe they did that. Like who did what? You don't even know anything about it. You watched a simple news segment and you made a hypothesis on the way of the world. And now you're going around just talking shit all day long. Guess what that does? It transfers over into your normal life, into the things that do matter, right? It transfers into the things that do matter. And then you screw those up because you've been brainwashed and you've been stuck in a mindset of a world that's really irrelevant to what it is that you're trying to do on a daily basis. It's a world that's irrelevant to how successful you're trying to be. The government's not stopping you from being successful. They're not making you overweight. They're not making you broke. They're not making you anything. Go do what you need to do. But first of all, you got to change the brain. And if you don't stop watching that nonsense, you don't stop watching the news, reading the newspaper, getting involved in conversations, this is how much of a muscle the mindset is. engaging in negative conversation over and over and over and over and over again is no different than eating pizza for every meal. It's addictive as shit. It's crazy addictive. You want more and more and more of it. And guess what ends up happening after 3 months of eating pizza for every meal? You're fat. The same thing's happening to your brain. Your brain's getting fat. Your brain's getting useless fat. And it's getting less and less ability to do the things that it needs to do. It's getting less and less ability to be positive. You can't find the positive in anything because you're stuck in this spiral. The world's coming to an end. The country's going to hell in a handbasket. Let me tell you this. If you believe that, if you believe the country's going to hell in a handbasket, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go online right now and I want you to book a flight to somewhere in Africa. Don't give a shit where. Maybe go to one of the Guays, maybe Uruguay, Paraguay, go to one of the Guays. Go to one of those places for 2 months. Book your ticket tonight. And then I want you to touch base with me when you get back. And I want you to tell me what going to hell in a handbasket looks like. Deal? Okay. See, that's a solution for you. And that's good. You know what that's going to do? It's going to give you some time to work on that mindset. It's going to give you some time to reframe, because you're going to see what it looks like when things are devastating and things are catastrophic and things are quote unquote hard, because your latte not being hot enough isn't hard. It's just cold, right? Just different. Not that big of a deal. Well, we make a damn big deal about it. So the moral and the message of this, guys, is this. It's simple. I just want to disrupt the way you're thinking. I want to disrupt the way you're behaving, because I hear it so often. I hear it from strangers. I hear it from people I know. I see it online. Let me give you a face space tip really quick. If you're engaging in any kind of negative banter on face space with people you do or don't know, you are wasting your life. That's just, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Ask yourself this question. What are you going to get across? Wouldn't your time be better spent going for a walk, talking to your husband or wife, talking to your children, playing with your dog, gardening, doing something? Wouldn't your life be so much better if you focused on those things instead of like a fight on Facebook? Because then you know what happens after the fight on Facebook? Then you go tell everybody you see the next day about what so-and-so did on Facebook. Guess what? They don't give a shit. They don't care. They got their own Facebook fight going on. And then you guys just spar back and forth with the negativity. See where I'm trying to get? I'm trying to get you to realize the things you're doing on a daily basis that are just holding you back. They're just derailing you from any kind of success that you're ever going to have. And you're sitting there thinking, Jay, well, what do the words I use have to do with how successful I am? Are you where you want to be? Are you where you want to be with your health and fitness, with your money, with your relationships, with your spiritual? Is your life where you want it to be? If it is, keep doing it. If it is, keep going. Maybe double down on it. Maybe I'm wrong for you, but I'm willing to bet that 99.976% of you, if you're engaging in negative, dramatic behavior, vocabulary, it's leading to actions that aren't conducive to getting you where it is you want to go. And your life is not where you want it to be. Your health and fitness isn't where you want it to be. Your money is not where you want it to be. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You got a horrible relationship with your spouse or your family or your kids or your coworkers. So you're not supposed to have horrible relationships. Guess how many bad relationships I have? 0. None. Not a one. Ask if somebody that knows me is listening to that's a stupid thing. Somebody knows me is going to listen to this. If you know me and I call you and I bitch about anything, I want you to call me out on Facebook. I want you to call me out on the YouTube channel. I want you to put me on blast. Guess how concerned I am? Not at all. I don't make those phone calls. I don't have those conversations. I don't bitch. I don't complain. I don't engage in drama. I don't use negative language. There's a difference, guys, I promise. And I'm not here to throw you out. I'm not here to call you out. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to help you shift that perspective and understand that it's not something gigantic that you got to do to make a difference. Think about how simplistic your vocabulary is. Think about what it would be like if you just started to think about your mindset as a muscle. And if you want better abs, what do? You do abs. If you want bigger biceps, what do? You do curls, right? If you want a stronger mindset, you work on your mindset. You work on your language. You work on your thoughts. People have bad thoughts all the time. Blah, blah, blah. Just stop them. Reframe them. Say, no, that's not true. I'm future casting something that's not real and not true. I'm going to replace that thought with a powerful thought. Journal it, write it down. Write down something more powerful than the thoughts you're having. And eventually, if you consistently and mindfully and intentionally do that, you will develop those new thought patterns. I don't have negative thoughts. I don't have bad thoughts. I don't think about the catastrophic, the world's coming to an end, bad things are going to happen to me, whatever. I'm usually thinking about something fantastic. I'm usually thinking about some way I can help somebody. See, that's a simple shift there. Like, what can you do to make somebody else's life better? Because you know what will happen if you do that? Your life will exponentially get better with very little work, very little even thought process. And then you'll start to think about those things. You'll start to think about acts of service. Like, those are little simple tips. I could talk all day about ways to increase your mindset in a positive fashion. Acts of service, gratitude, journaling, like the little shit. See, everybody's looking for the big thing. Everybody thinks they're going to wake up one day and Shazam. They're just going to be positive and powerful and intentional and mindful, and you won't be. For 20 years, I lived unintentional, mindless, angry, aggressive, reactionary, you name it. And I can tell you, it's a shitty way to live. It's no way to live. I would bitch. I would complain. I would talk to people about nonsense. When I stopped doing all those things, guys, everything began to shift. My whole world started to rotate in a different direction. And now the thought of even having a conversation like that makes me want to throw open my mouth. I won't do it. Again, if you know me and I have those conversations with you, negative drama, whatever it is, call me out. Throw me on blast. Nobody can do it because that doesn't happen. I don't do that shit. And I can promise you it's because my mindset is strong. My mindset's the strongest muscle in my body. And once you get to that level, once you make that shift, and really it's a decision is all it is. I don't want anybody to think this is anything more than a decision. If you make the decision that you're going to think differently, talk differently, act differently, speak differently, all those things, everything will change for you. Will you be perfect tomorrow? No. Will you be perfect next Wednesday? No. But you will get a lot better the more you work on it. And the more you reframe every situation that you have the opportunity to reframe. Like, why is this happening to me? What am I supposed to learn from this situation? What can I take from this that I can use to my benefit instead of my detriment? Those are simple questions, simple shifts in perspective. And when you start to do that, things shift and things get better. Some of you are going to get fired from your job this year, probably before the end of the year, before Christmas. Instead of making that sound, and they're like, holy shit, Jay, that took a nasty turn. I'm like, well, you know what? It's reality. You might. But it might be the best thing that ever happened to you. You know the best thing that ever happened to me in my business today? My entire business flooded and I lost my business overnight. The single best thing that has ever happened to me in my business was a flood. Lost my entire business. They're thinking, you're crazy as shit, right? That's what you're thinking to yourself right now. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. It changed my life exponentially. Probably 10x my income, 10x my ability to serve, 10x my ability to help people, 10x my happiness, 10x everything in my life. A flood. Think about that for a second. Some of you might be experiencing a flood right now. If you can shift your perspective on what am I supposed to get from this? What's this flood trying to teach me? You might just turn that flood into the best thing that's ever happened to you. All right, guys, I just wanted to hit you with that. It was on my mind. I freestyled that a little bit. We might have went down a rabbit hole or two, but I hope you got something out of that. I hope it just disrupted your way of thinking just a little bit. I hope you got a little bit of inspiration there, and I hope you got some desire to make that transformation into that next level of that mindset that you need. And here's the deal. I talk about this shit ad nauseum. If you're on Facebook, I call it Face Space. I don't know why. I think it's funny. I make up stupid shit. Go to the groups tab, search Wellness Lab Launchpad. I'll talk about mindset. I talk about movement. I talk about meals. I talk about the simplification of it all. It's a free group. Go ask to join. I'll let you in. You get a lot more of this. I said it wasn't a pitch fest, but shit, I'll pitch them both. If you haven't read both my books, The Overweight Mind and The Purpose of Pain, I highly suggest you do that. Go to Amazon. You can grab both. They will help transform your mindset into a place where it needs to be. They're both transformational books. The writing of them just alone for me was pivotal. It's the way that I got myself to where I am today from where I was. And it's the way that I've helped thousands and thousands of clients get to where they are today, from places of chaos, from places of what they consider to be challenging and hard and painful and devastating and all that. Now they're on the other side of that, and they realize that this way of life is so much better. So go to Wellness Lab Launchpad, guys. You can get all the details there, get all the info. We'll let you in immediately. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for listening on iTunes and Spotify. Guys, if you want any kind of information from me, if you want me to do an episode on anything, if you want me to talk about anything, hit me in the comments below on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you can get in contact with me. It's Thrive Forever Fit, Jay Nixon. I am easy to find. The only problem you might have is the governor of Missouri is also Jay Nixon. That is not me. Again, I don't do political things, so you guys can kind of rest assured that's not me, and I don't live in Missouri. So guys, have a beautiful rest of your day. Shift that mindset. Make the rest of 2019 unbelievably amazing. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know how I can support you. That's what I'm here for. And I love you. All right, man. See you soon. Bye.